Hi, second grade. This week in math, you've been learning about subtracting with two-digit numbers. I've noticed that in school, many of you are ready to subtract bigger numbers. So today we're going to be talking about subtracting with three-digit numbers, with borrowing, but also something that gets kids a little bit tricked from time to time, which is subtracting with numbers that have zeros in them. So we're going to talk a little bit about that also. So first, for a three-digit problem, okay, it's very much the same. And I'm sure many of you boys and girls, if you've understood very well how to subtract two-digit numbers with borrowing, you already can understand how to subtract three-digit numbers. So we'll do one example real quick, and then you can practice some of those in our enrichment projects, okay? All right, so first we will try a three-digit number. Let's try 342 minus 165. Okay, so what I've done here is I've given us a problem where you can already see we're going to have to borrow not only for this number, but also for this number because it's not a big enough number on the top to subtract. So we know the rule, bottom bigger borrow, right? Okay, so let's try this one. 2 minus 5 we can't do. So just like when we're subtracting two-digit numbers, we're going to come to this 4 and we're going to borrow a 10. So we're going to take away the 4. The 4 used to be 40, now it's 30. We're going to give the 10 to the 2, and if you give 10 to 2, it becomes 12. So now we have 12 minus 5. 12 minus 5 is 7. And we have the 3 now in the column, in the tens column. We still have a problem, don't we, boys and girls? So 3 minus 6, we can't do. So all that happens now is we borrow from the hundreds column. So instead of 3 hundreds, we will have 2 hundreds, and we will give one of those tens to the 3, and it becomes 13 tens. Okay, so now we have 13 tens minus 6 tens. Okay. All right, and that's another 7. And then 2 minus 1 is 1. There we go. Okay, pretty simple. So you'll see problems like this on your enrichment challenges this week. Now we're going to try something a little bit trickier. We'll start to come across problems that have zeros in the top number. And when that happens, you'll notice it's hard to determine what to do with borrowing when there's nothing to borrow from with a zero. Okay, so let me show you what I mean by that. If we have a problem like 300 minus 127, okay? Sorry, the glare from the lights here makes it a little tricky to see sometimes. So when we go to subtract 0 minus 7, we can't do that. We know that. We're going to have to come to our neighbor and borrow, but we don't have anything to borrow. This 0 has nothing to give, does it? So think of these all as neighbors. He needs to borrow something from him, but he doesn't have it. So he's going to come to this neighbor to borrow. So this 3 becomes a 2. Now he can give him a 10. Okay, now the 10 has something to give to his neighbor. So 10 becomes a 9, and this becomes a 10. Okay, so now everybody has what they need to subtract. So 10 minus 7 is 3, 9 minus 2 is 7, and 2 minus 1 is 1. And there we have our answer. Okay? So boys and girls, when you come across problems with zeros, just remember that you're going to continue to borrow over neighbor by neighbor until you can give everybody what they need. Okay? Borrowing a 10 from each of the place value. Okay? All right, good luck on your assignments this week.